I call my friend Kaylee and I tell her that I'm not going to be able to make the wedding. From that point, I basically accepted defeat and decided to go get a coffee, get a cab home, and wait till the next day to catch my flight. I really like Dunkin Donuts coffee, and there are no Dunkin Donuts in New Orleans. But there is a Dunkin Donuts in the airport, and I love to get medium caramel iced coffee with cream and sugar. That is my order. And sometimes I get a strawberry donut because strawberry donuts are excellent. So I walk up to the counter and I'm like, can I get a medium caramel iced coffee with cream and sugar? And you'll never guess what the employee said to me. He goes, we're out of iced coffee. I obviously had been crying because I had been crying for the last like 30 minutes, and I kind of just stare at him and I'm like, what? How can you be out of iced coffee? You are Dunkin Donuts. That is your job. Your job is to have iced coffee. So I almost started crying again because I was like, oh my god, the world is conspiring against me. The whole reason my flight had been delayed in the first place was because an act of God, which according to United Airlines means that you don't get refunded for your flight because they can't help the weather, they can't stop the weather. My flight, which had been coming from Houston, had been canceled altogether. It never made it to New Orleans, and therefore it wasn't in New Orleans to take me to my destination at the proper time. So I show up and it's like storming and I'm like, oh my god, this flight is gonna be delayed even more. We do not even get on to our plane till 11:30 p.m. The plane that we ended up going on was coming from Houston, again, and they get to New Orleans. They were circling above our heads but could not land because of the storms, and the storms weren't leaving. So, because they were running out of fuel, they had enough fuel to fly back to Houston and do whatever the hell they did in Houston, and then fly all the way back to New Orleans when the storm was gone. We get on the plane, I look at the person who's sitting next to me because I'm in the middle seat, and it is this cute boy. I would never have had the opportunity to sit next to a cute guy on an airplane. Guess what this dude does the entire time? He sleeps. He slept the entire time. By the time we get to LAX, it is 3:30 a.m. my time. In LA, it's around 1:30 a.m. So I am tired. On top of it just being late and me being pissed I had to miss the wedding because now I got to LA and I wasn't going to the wedding. I was now just going to go straight to my Vidcon hotel. It's 1:30, so there's like no shuttle service. There's like, I don't want to take a cab from LAX to Anaheim, which would have cost me basically an arm and a leg. Thank God for Uber and Uber $50 off because I ended up having to get an Uber from LAX to Anaheim. But not any old Uber, no. Because of course the most basic Uber car was not available at this time. There weren't any around. But you know, the ones that were around, the fancy Uber cars, the ones that are like black sedans, which is what I rode from LAX to Anaheim in a black sedan. And I felt very fancy. He like took my bag and put it into the trunk and he opened the door for me. And I was like, these people who are watching me get in this car probably think I'm a fancy actress arriving in LA. It's funny how things work out because I went with United in the first place because their ticket was the cheapest. But all in all, through all the drama, having booked a shuttle to Santa Barbara, which I could not get refunded, so I lost that money. Money for the Uber. Money for the cab back from the airport when I was there at the wrong time. All of that together probably would have equaled the same amount if I had taken just Southwest Airlines or taken Delta for a little bit more, and I probably would have gotten there on time and gone to the wedding. When I was on the phone with my mom, she said, you know, this might be happening for a reason, and I don't know what that reason was, but I ended up missing the wedding, and I'm so sad, but they all had so much fun and I'm so glad. I'm glad that I got to Anaheim. I'm glad that I had so much fun at VidCon, but it's just, it was crazy, and it was a crazy couple days of my life. I think that's probably something that happens once in everyone's life anyway, so hopefully I got mine done and I don't have to worry about it forever. I was going crazy. I was crying. I like cried in front of like most of the airport employees.